Would you give a huge welcome, England World Cup winning captain, Martin Johnson.
Europe became the big thing. When it first arrived, I think the Premiership was getting a bit stale. You played the same teams every year and the same venues, and suddenly we're going over to these, relatively exotic places and playing games in grounds we'd never played at. And we went to, the first French game we played was in a town called Pau in the Pyrenees, which is a lovely town. If you've ever been there, it's a lovely place. And we got there on the Thursday, and the Friday we do a bit of training, and we were in the town on the Friday afternoon having a coffee in the cafes, and it was a lovely weather, and we're thinking, this is what it's all about. This is European rugby. It's fantastic, sophisticated. We got there on the Saturday to play the game, and the atmosphere and the intensity of the match was like nothing we'd ever experienced, because it's a close little ground. We managed to hold on for half an hour, and they were ahead, and we managed to just dig in, get to half time. And the second half, we started to make inroads into them. But seriously, it was when you couldn't go off the field unless you were proven injured by the doctor. Sounds bizarre nowadays with all the substitutions, but you had to be deemed injured by the doctor on duty. And of course, it was a French doctor. So we had an injury, and the game literally stopped. The game literally stopped. Both teams stopped to watch Bob Dwyer, who was our coach, fight their doctor on the sideline. Leon had dislocated both his shoulders, but the French doctor said, no, he's not. That was kicking off. Then it kicked off on the field, because they in French rugby, in English rugby at that time, there's a certain etiquette of what you could get away with. You could ruck people on the ground. The occasional punch was okay. You might get a stern finger. French didn't like kicking people on the ground, but what they did like was gouging your eyes, fish hooking you in the mouth there, and grabbing your testicles, ball bagging you. So it's the first game I've ever had all three at one go. Finger here, finger. And it was unbelievably filthy. We'd never experienced it before. The crowd went nuts, and we got off the field, and even in test matches, I'd never experienced a crowd like it. And we sat in the change rooms, and we had this sort of mixture of elation that we'd won, but also a bit of fear about what the hell was going on out there. And Peter Wheeler was our chief exec, and Bob was our coach. And they came in and said, right guys, you can go out and do your warm down. Crowd's still in, and they're getting a bit, bit aggro and a bit feisty. So just when you go out, just don't incite the crowd. Okay. So we all walked out because we had to do warm downs now with professionals. And we walked out to see Brace in the middle of the field giving this one. But I'll tell you something, we came back, they put on a dinner that night for us, and it wasn't a black tie event. It was a very, very basic trestle table, I think it was sauerkraut, sausage dinner. And we had one of the best nights. They couldn't have, all that aggro gone, and we just had, it was just rugby, drinks, Heineken with a sponsor, so that was flowing. And it was brilliant. European rugby was just, we were sold.